Okay, old gun guy here. I'm gonna do a quick video today. Weather conditions pretty awful. It's 6 degrees out, so I'm gonna do a velocity comparison. Two different 357 Magnum ammunitions in 3 different firearms. I did a similar thing with the 44 Magnum, but I used 1 pistol and 2 rifle, different barrel lengths. This time I'm gonna use 2 pistols in different barrel lengths and 1 rifle. I have a 4-inch Colt Trooper, vintage, 70s vintage, 4-inch barrel, 357 Magnum. I have a 6-inch Python. This is the new version. I got this about 6 years ago. 6-inch barrel. And the third firearm's a Marlin 1894. This is in 357 Magnum, and the barrel length is 18 inches. This is one of the Remington produced Marlins, and I lucked out because it's a good shooting gun. A lot of them are junk. The 2 ammunitions I'm going to use is this hunting shack I have laying around. HSM ammunition. 158 grain jacketed hollow point. Alright. And then I'm going to use some UMC Remington 357 Magnum. 125 grain jacketed sword point. That's what that looks like. I'm going to fire it over the chronograph. I'm going to do in sequence. The first 3 will be hunting shack. The second 3 in the cylinder will be the Remington. Repeat it in the Python, and the same with the Marlin. The first 3 shots will be HSM. The last 3 shots will be the Remington 125 grain jacketed sword point. I'll do that. It's nice and sunny, so I should have no problem with the chronograph today. And I'll be back for the energy figures and the summary. Okay, I'm back for this little brief video on the 357 Magnum cartridge fired in 3 different barrel lengths. This time, unlike the 44 Magnum, 2 of them are in handguns and 1's in a rifle. I have a Colt Trooper Mark III, which I did a video on about 7 months ago if you're interested in that. 4-inch barrel, 357 Magnum. 6-inch barreled Colt Python, new model. And a 18-inch barreled Marlin 1894. 2 ammunitions. The first up will be hunting shack or HSM 158 grain jacketed hollow point, and Remington UMC 125 grain jacketed soft point. I've already had the guns loaded. The first 3 will be the hunting shack, the second 3 in each cylinder will be the Remington, and the rifle's loaded the same way. The first shots will be hunting shack, and the second shots will be the Remington. Put my ears on, the chronograph set up, and single digits out here. That's why I'm going to do this pretty quick. First up, Colt Trooper. Looks like 11, 11. 11:20. 11:30. Let me change the string. These are the Remington 125 jacketed sword points. $14.96, quite a bit hotter. $15.39. And $15.02. So the Remington's quite a bit hotter. Next up, 6-inch barrel Colt Python. Maybe I'll do a video on this one of these days. Hunting shack up first. 1197, 1177, and 1196. Let me change the string and the next three are Remington 125 grain jacketed saw point. That would be string number 4. $16.12. Oh, that's moving. $16.94. And $17.02. All right. Next up on Marlin, 1894, 18-inch barrel. First up will be the hunting shack, and then followed by the Remington. String 5 is the Marlin hunting shack ammo. $14.22. $14.16 or 76, can't make it out. Looks like $14.10. And now we're up for the 125 Remington. $21.50. I forgot to change the string, so I'm going to change the string for the last 2 shots. And I'll just adjust it when I do the energy figures. All right, Remington. $21.20. And $21.34. I'm going to clean this up, go inside, do the math, and give the summary. Looks like 11:11. $11.20. $11.30. Let me change the string. These are the Remington 125 jacketed saw points. $14.96, quite a bit hotter. $15.39. And $15.02. So the Remington's quite a bit hotter. Next up, 6-inch barrel Colt Python. Maybe I'll do a video on this one of these days. Hunting shack up first. $11.97. $11.77. And $11.96. Let me change the string and the next three are Remington 125 grain jacketed saw point. That would be string number 4. 1612. Oh, that's moving. 1694. 1702. All right. Next up on Marlin, 1894, 18-inch barrel. First up will be the hunting shack, and then followed by the Remington. String 5 is the Marlin hunting shack ammo. $14.22. $14.16 or 76, can't make it out. Looks like $14.10. And now we're up for the 125 Remington. $21.50. I forgot to change the string, so I'm going to change the string for the last two shots. And I'll just adjust it when I do the energy figures. All right, Remington. $21.20. Okay, I'm back for our observations here on these three different barrel length firearms and the 357 Magnum cartridge. First off, the HSM is noticeably less powered than the Remington, and the chronograph proves it out, and so does my hand. The first up was the Colt Trooper, Mark IV 4-inch barrel. The hunting shack, 158 grain jacket at hollow point. The velocity was 1,115 feet per second, and the energy was 436 foot-pounds. Next up, I fired the Remington 125 grain jacket at soft point from the same firearm, and marketed much more powerful, 1,517 feet per second. My writing's a little jumbled there, and that translates to 639 foot-pounds energy. That's a substantial increase, energy and velocity. Even though it's shooting a projectile that's 33 grains lighter, it's still a lot of velocity and a lot more energy. Next up was the 6-inch Python, 6-inch barrel. The hunting shack produced 1,187 feet per second and 494 foot-pounds of energy. And the Remington 125 jacketed soft point out of the Python was doing 1,653 feet per second average, and that's fast, and 759 foot-pounds of energy. Last up was the Marlin 1894, a little rifle here, 18-inch barrel. The hunting shack 158 jacket hollow point was 1,419 feet per second and 707 foot-pounds of energy. And then when we jump to the Remington, 2,127 feet per second velocity, and the energy was 1,256 feet a second. Foot-pounds, 1,256 foot-pounds. Basically, the 357 Magnum, the Remington, is approaching what you get out of an AK. You know, the bullet weight's roughly the same. AK is about 123 grains, and it's doing about 2,300 feet a second. This ain't far behind. You know, the pistol cartridge. It's a pistol cartridge, not a intermediate rifle cartridge. I'm gonna put this up here, but the velocity difference with the hunting shack was From the Trooper to the Python, you gain 76 feet a second. From the Python to the rifle, you gain 232 feet a second. And so from the Trooper with the 4-inch to the 18-inch barrel Marlin, you gain 308 feet per second more velocity. The Remington, big difference. You gained 136 feet a second from the 4 to 6-inch barrel, and you gained 474 feet a second from the 6-inch barrel to the 18-inch barrel. And from the 4 to the 18-inch barrel, from the 4-inch to the 18, 610 feet a second. That's a substantial jump in velocity and energy out of the 357 Magnum. You know, make a fine deer cartridge to about 75 yards. I would use a 180 grain bullet though, not the 125s. I'm going to hold this up just for a second, so anybody wants to screenshot it or still shot it, they could take the figures down. And that's going to wrap it up for our little video here. The 357 Magnum in 3 different barrel lengths and 2 different ammunitions. I'm Old Gun Guy. If you like this, like and share, subscribe, and comment. I'll try and get back to you. Have a good afternoon.